Man, I'm back at it again. This your boy Dizzy Dspill, and it's time for some more outside raps. I told y'all I was gonna try to hit y'all with some consistency, and there's some things that just can't wait. The street lights have came on. What do I mean by that? I mean, the street lights have came on, and it's time for people to go home. And it's people that don't have a home that are searching for a home. It's been a lot of crazy news today on social media, influencers, IG models, however you want to wrap it. But I definitely have a message about this, and I will get into it more and break it down. And I'm not gonna waste too much time on rambling. You know how a lot of channels do. The only thing I'm going to ask you is that please take the time to like, subscribe, turn the notifications on at the bell so that you can get updates on more content that I'm going to be providing for you guys, and more content coming from Outside Raps podcast. So, man, I'm going to get right into it. I got my notes here, and one of the first things that I have to talk about is this Brittany Renner meltdown that she had on this podcast on a couple days ago. It's really crazy. So I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna play a little clip real quick, and it looks like she was really triggered when the question was asked about the father of her son. PJ Washington, I believe. And this is what she had to say, and it just went left real quick, randomly out of nowhere. So here it is.
As a woman knowing that's your baby father, what is your first view on that?
Honestly, I want my child's father to win.
Exactly.
It's just what it is. And regardless of what people say, I believe he deserves whatever he feels he's worthy of. So, whatever that contract looks like, that's what it looks like. And I didn't have a child. You know, I had a second-degree tear. You know what that looks like?
I'm going to say
Hello?
say no. I'm going to say no for all of us.
Is everybody fucking listening?
Say no.
Hello?
Yeah,
a second-degree tear? You know what that looks like?
I mean, that boy was that big when you had him.
He was, I think it was 8.1.5.
That means she had a big baby.
Almost 9 pounds, right?
Another NBA player.
Does that matter to you? Does that matter to you?
She had this meltdown, and that's how you know that this woman is going through a lot, and she's not well. Now, I know that a lot of people talk about mental health and things of that nature, but what people have to understand is that people really do go through things. So don't get me wrong, I am not defending her behavior at all, because I watched the build up, the trolling, all of the crazy behavior. It's almost like watching a younger version of Superhead all over again, reincarnated in modern times, as far as in the spirit of that behavior. But she just had a lot of erratic behavior. And I mean, even if you look at Charleston White's face, because he was also a guest on the interview as well. When you look at his face, he's even like, what's finna happen? And then you look at the other host, and he has like that nervous smile, like, yo, am I gonna get hit? Is something finna happen to me? What's going on? And like I said, the street lights are on. And I think what is happening to this woman is, because she kept talking about her feelings and things of that nature. Let me see if I can find the clip real here where she's talking about a hopeful romantic. So let's get into that.
And I care, and I'm a hopeful romantic, but I can't control. At the end of the day, I try to force something that wasn't mine. That wasn't my person, and that's okay.
So for me, she has a moment where she's like saying, that's okay or whatever the case is, but nobody really asked her about what happened, she just was asked about, he just signed a $50 million contract, and, how do you feel about him these days? I mean, yeah, it was a little bit of antagonizing and provoking there, but at the end of the day, like, she just started answering questions that were never asked. And this is all important. All of this stuff that I'm bringing up right now is important to make a point to a certain degree. So let me see. This is where she was really, really going crazy too. This joint right here.
Fucking shut the fuck up!
Oh shit!
Shut up! Shut the fuck up when I'm talking.
That's peripheral.
Shut up.
That's peripheral.
Seriously, shut the fuck up when I'm talking. Cause if you ever felt real love to where you have a mother.
Yeah, somebody got hit with a water bottle. I mean, I wouldn't tolerate none of that drama on any of my platforms. Like, you gots to go. In my opinion, to all you fellas out here, there's a lot of women that are not really fond of us podcasting and having our spaces that our parents had. Back in the day, our mothers had daytime television. You know what I'm saying? They had the Ricky Lakes and all that stuff. So now men have spaces. A lot of women aren't okay with that. And I think that if you're going to interview women and you're not sure how it's going to go, you probably need to hire some female security, just so there ain't no charges being brought on you or the security you hire, because women do get out of control these days. So the point that I want to make is that this woman is obviously hurting. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate, but she made this bed, so you have to lay in it, sweetheart. You don't, just like when men make mistakes and they make their bed, now it's time to lay in it. You know what I'm saying? And we can go down the list of celebrities and all that other drama. But this woman, maybe she did want love and maybe she did want a relationship. She said some things that didn't age well about getting with the athlete because they're stupid and you can get all this money from them. But that obviously didn't work in her favor. Now, she said in the interview that didn't age well, but I just think that's a cop out for not taking any accountability. But what happens with a lot of men and a lot of women, and I'm gonna just talk to the men real quick, and I'm gonna talk to the young men real quick. You look at these women on Instagram, because when I was in high school and when I got out of high school, there was no Instagram. There was Facebook and things like that. There was some form of social media, but it was like the surface level part of the grid before the grid really started building as far as social media. What you young people have to understand is, you have a lot of temptation that you're dealing with. When you open your app, when you open YouTube, when you open any of these platforms at any given time, whatever the algorithm says, you can see something that's going to be polarizing to you and that's going to be interesting to you. You're going to see a ton of beautiful women, and a good 80% of them are half naked. And unless you have the bag and you're ready to spend the bag, and you have enough following for them to actually look at your message, you understand what I'm saying? And by the way, you need to advertise that bag on social media, just like they're advertising their bodies. They're not checking for you, but there's a blessing behind that. If you're a good, hardworking dude, if you have a 5, 10, 15-year plan with your life, you just dodged a bullet. You just dodged a loose cannon. You just dodged a firecracker, because this Brittany Renner girl has been seen as visually appealing by many. But ask yourself, would you want to deal with that coming home from work one day? Getting bottles thrown at you, yelling at the top of her lungs. Nothing about her interview with these clips was ladylike. She had a dress that was just a couple inches away from showing things that would probably have got this video banned on YouTube. All right, people, that's what you witnessed. That girl obviously was intoxicated. I'm not going to make an excuse for that either, because you should be able to control your behavior. You should be able to control your alcohol intake. You should be able to control yourself. You should be able to conduct yourself, especially when you're an adult, and even more of a reason to do it if you're a parent. So I don't feel bad about how she behaved. I know she's hurting, but you have to get the help for you. Everybody around you and everybody that knows you, is not their responsibility because they don't control you. So it's just crazy and it's just madness. Of course, she was being antagonized a little bit, but she was way out of line. And I'm gonna be honest, she's just gonna get a slap on the wrist from the public. I mean, of course, the comment section probably lit her up and stuff like that. But if this was a dude, if this was a man acting like that in a room full of women, I'm gonna be real. I think that shit would have made it to the news. I'm gonna just keep it a being with you. I think it would have made it to the news. I think all kinds of platforms that don't even dabble in YouTube spaces or probably didn't even know who Brittany Renner was would be talking about this so much and so heavily because a man acted like that. And you already know it's very easy for us to be labeled aggressive, and depending on your skin complexion, it's going to be a little bit more than just aggressive. So my take on that is pay attention. I think women should pay attention. I think there's a lot of women out there that should pay attention to what's going on, just so you see from a different seat how you look. If there's any women that act like this and that talk like this because they're hurt and everybody doesn't understand what they're going through, as if everybody else doesn't have problems of their own, this is how you look. Not just to men, but to other women, to the public. This is how you look. At the end of the day, pain or not, struggle or not, you are still responsible for your actions, whether somebody's going to hold you accountable or not. Now, this woman probably could have found a decent guy that wanted to be with her, that would have not made her, I guess, a hopeless romantic, even though she's a hopeful romantic because she's not successful in relationships at this point. But the problem with a lot of women that get that type of attention and that also encourage the type of attention that she was encouraging for years is that they're not looking for hardworking men. They're not looking for men that want to build and that have a 10, 15-year plan. So they may not have the nicest car, the nicest clothes. They're not, a lot of blue collar men, a lot of men still trying to perfect their craft. They're not looking for that. They're running the race, they're not running the race. They are watching the race and waiting for it to finish so they can screw the winner. That's what it is. Maybe there are a lot of women out there that are extremely attractive, that get a lot of attention, and that are the most humble person you've ever met. But I'm gonna tell you right now, in my years of living, I have not met many. I've came across a small selection, and I'm being modest when I say that because I don't want to take a dig at women that happen to get a lot of attention. But it's kind of weird that these women that look like this, that have that type of attention, something with that behavior. And that's why when you men that have a hard time dating or still learning how to date, or learning how to date in 2023 and forward, and young men, when you look at these women and you're like, man, she's fire, man. Look at her body. Like, look at her hair. Look how, man, she smells good. Why would somebody allow her to be single? You go back to these video clips and that might be the reason. I'm not saying that's all the reasons for all these women on why they're single, but there's a lot of them that look very nice and that come off very nice that are really, really, really screwed up in the head. And you got to pay attention to the patterns. You understand what I'm saying? You got to pay attention to these women that argue with men. Why are you with men? It's like, why are you even arguing with women? Like that's just crazy right there. Like, but I'm not talking about that right now. But women, y'all got to stop arguing with these men, especially men that you're not attracted to, men that you don't want. Like, that makes it even worse. It's like, what kind of time are you really planning on wasting right now? But I think some of the most powerful, feminine, attractive women women that really have a clear head, really intelligent women, they're not even going to waste their time arguing with you or raising their voice with you, because they understand that you do not matter when it comes to their responsibilities in their lives. These women that get triggered like this and they flip out and they yell in their microphones, they're yelling in their phones, they are hurt and they are upset from somebody, about somebody, or with somebody that the rest of the world may not even know, or most likely doesn't know. So it's not even about you at the end of the day. And to be honest, it's not even really about the person that they're upset with. It's about their feelings and emotions. But there definitely is a trend, because if I'm not mistaken, and you can quote me where I'm wrong in the comment section, I will not mind. I don't mind being corrected if I have some stats or some numbers wrong. But there is a trend with a lot of these women. Right now, one of the trends is in these older chicks, they're smart. I'm telling you, they are smart. You have women like, or not women, but you have men like Jaylen Brown being spotted with Bernice Burgos. You have Jalen Green spotted with Drea Michelle. And then, of course, Brittany Renner having a child with PJ Washington, who he's engaged, by the way. And I think he has a kid on the way. So that's another reason why that woman might be really, really upset. But the reason why I brought these names up, and there's countless other people that I can name, but these are all athletes. These are all NBA players. Jaylen Brown is very young. Bernice Burgos is in her 40s. Okay? She's been known in the music industry, dealt with Drake, dealt with all these different people. Video vixen, I believe. Jalen Green is 21. Drea Michelle is, I believe, in her 30s. 30, if I'm not mistaken. Same thing, Brittany Renner, 31 years old. PJ Washington, 25. And the reason why that's happening is because these older women, they have experience in the game. They understand, okay, this is where I went wrong with this dude, this athlete, this affluent man, because they don't want blue collar men. They don't want men that's going to come home every single day and all that other stuff. That's not what they want. They say they want that, but that's not what it is. You've heard the saying before. They want Future to act like Russell Wilson. Ain't nobody checking for Russell Wilson. And it's not a dig at Russell Wilson. It's just that's who these women should have been approaching to begin with. But that's what they want. They want the guy that's 6'8", and it's the proof is in the pudding. But when these women get older and they realize that the men around their age understand their game, understand their reputation, they're like, okay, I'm going to go a little bit younger. It's like high school. I'm going to go a little bit younger. Or it's like junior high. Go a little bit younger. They're still wet behind the ears. So, you have this young kid, 20 through 25. I consider you kids, all right? And you have millions of dollars. And for a lot of young men, young boys, what do we want to do when we get, most of the things that we want when we're young men are to impress a girl. I got to get my money up so so I can look good. I got to get my clothes right. I got to get my car. I got to get all these things to impress. Don't let these women fool you when they say, oh, when men spend all this money to impress their homeboys. Stop it. Stop. You know what it's about. If y'all accepted everybody wearing high visual construction worker vests and hard hats, you better believe all these dudes will be running around looking like construction workers. Stop it. So young men, you guys need to pay attention. In my opinion, young men, I wouldn't take dating serious in a relationship unless you know a great deal of information that proves that woman really wants to settle down. And I still would wait, because a lot of times when young girls settle down and very, very young, they start getting curious. Especially if they've only been with one guy. I wonder what it's like to be with somebody else, or whatever the case is. So pay attention. Don't even just focus on yourself. Focus on building your empire, building your income, making your life comfortable, and preparing for a woman that you can take care of. Don't get too caught up and wrapped up in trying to lock somebody down. And pay attention to these OG women. Ask yourself, why are they going so low on the ladder in age to settle down? I remember hearing as a youngster that, yeah, women mature way faster than girls mature way faster than boys. Maybe physically, but mentally we're both immature at that age. So pay attention and watch out for women like this Brittany Renner flipping out like this. This woman, she really goes back and forth with, I just want love. And she's always, she's crying in the camera, and it's crazy because I remember when this girl first started getting a buzz. So to see that and see where she is now, it's like, yo, it's crazy. But there's tons of women like that. You double tap on them pictures all you want, dude. You don't know what door you knocking on and what's behind that door. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you agree with. Let me know what you disagree with. And you already know where to find me, man. You already know where to find all of the latest information that I can get to you as soon as I can. All right. Before I get out of here, I seen that Anton Daniels had also had made a conversation a few weeks back talking about all of this stuff. And I agree with his point. And he was saying that a lot of these athletes, especially athletes, why they date older. You understand what I'm saying? And he said that they date older because a lot of you young women don't know how to keep your mouth shut. Y'all can't wait to start saying names and all that other stuff. And I thought that was a great point because when Brittany Renner was younger, she came out with a tell-all book, basically letting you know in so many words who she messed with by the descriptions of things. However, these older women that are dating younger men, like I said, they understand that younger men are easily influenced. They kind of look at them as like stupid to a certain degree. Like, oh yeah, especially if they're experienced in ways, if you know what I mean. A lot of these young guys may not be experienced like that in the bedroom. So I'm going to do this to him and he going to listen to everything I say. So I'll say this. And as far as, young men and young women, I leave you with this message. Make sure you are advertising yourself for the target demographic you want and market yourself in the proper environments of the type of attention you want. This will eliminate all of this drama that I just talked about. Like I said, the street lights are on, people. Where you gonna go home to? And it's time for some of y'all to go home. Anyways, like I said earlier, please like, subscribe, share the content, get the conversation started. Tell me what you disagree with or what you agree with in the comment section. This your boy, Dizzy Dspill. You've been tuning in to Outside Raps. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, peace.